We are back, baby. We are back. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. It's Tuesday, the end of the year, final day of 2024. Hope you got your New Year's resolutions ready. We want to know what you're doing for New Year's and what your resolutions are for the coming year. But grain market's popping back here this morning after a volatile, interesting day yesterday. We're going to talk about a winter storm coming in the Midwest. We're going to review the COT report, talk a little bit of cattle, and talk about New Year's resolutions. So let's jump on over to your markets. We'll run down where your markets are at currently, and then we'll bring my buddy Connor B into the building. March corn is up 3 3/4, 456 on the board. March beans up 7 cents, 998 3/4, tickling $10. It's deja vu again. Feels like yesterday. Wheat, we got Chicago wheat up 3 cents, 551. KC wheat's up 3.5, 559. Feeder cattle, there's some green on the board there, up 35 cents on the March contract. We're going to talk about that feeder cattle index and the wonkiness going on there. Live cattle are up 25 to, well, actually 77 cents on the Feb. Feb's the front month now. Hogs are down $1.15. That's the only bleeder on the screen here. Crude oil is up 32 cents. Diesel's flat. Nat gas giving some of it back, down 19 cents. When we look at your Dow, your equities, the Dow is up 160 points. The S&P up 19. The NASDAQ up 32. Bring my buddy in, Connor B. Connor, let's dive into the show here. How are you today, Connor?
I'm good. Are we going to say good riddance 2024? Or, we got to be honest, there's some things to be nervous about marketing wise in 25. So time will tell. I wrote down a few of my marketing resolutions and my lessons learned. We'll have to get into that.
Okay, let's hold
I
off
thought
on
that'd be a
those
good
yet.
segment. Let's get through some news, right? The first one we got to talk about. I know in Central Illinois it's been in the 50s. Christmas, it was a little wet, but I mean, we were in t-shirts. I think that's going away, Brady, right? Winter is coming.
It is coming. It is here. Seen some of those maps up there. Going to be some cold temperatures next week. Connor, for me, it's just in time to calve out some heifers out there. We're going to have some heifers be calving, and it just never fails when those calves start hitting the ground. We're going to have a snowstorm or something come through, it feels like. But that's what you get for calving in January. Look at that map. Look at that temperature.
Extreme. Rick, Joe, and I are in the extreme cold area. This is January 8th through 10th. You're no better. You're in the cold area. I saw something, just the chance of snow in the south, like snow in Atlanta. And then here I have this one, just a snowstorm. Is that, us in Missouri, Illinois, Joe's ready for it in Indiana. It looks like we got a chance of lot of snow and definitely cold temperatures, which I guess it's been so unnaturally warm for at least a week, maybe even 2 weeks. I can't remember. So I guess we're due, right? It's time. We don't need the 50-degree Christmases, I guess.
Yeah, it's nice to have some mild weather, and it's great for cattle markets and getting some fall field work done, all of that. But we need some winter too to the frost cycle, all those things. And I guess if it's going to be cold, let's hope for some snow, Connor B. Let's hope for some snow.
Yep, sounds good. Hey, we had a commitment to traders report was out, and not a whole lot of changes from the last report we've seen. But I think when we tell the story of 2024 gray marketing, I think the corn fund position is going to be the one we look at. Okay, it is just amazing. So if you look week on week, right, we added ever so slightly to that long position, but not really at the end of the day, almost just kind of holding steady. But the first half of 2024, it was how short can we go? Are we going to get long? Then we put that record short position in July, and then we spent the latter part of the year just building it back up. And I think, Brady, if you would have told me in July, Connor, the funds are going to go long in 2024, I wouldn't have believed you. That was the truth. I would have thought maybe, sure, we decrease our short position, but the thought of how fast the funds got long is unbelievable. And so also, I'm going to pop that chart up again, because when we're looking at this, right, just through November, December, right, how much farmer selling are we seeing that's kind of offsetting that, right? We've seen a nice rally in the corn market, but man, these funds are getting long, and interesting to see what 25 will bring, right? Are we going to continue seeing that length extend. Or, when they're record short, what are they going to do? They're going to buy it back. If they get too long, right, it's a recipe for them to make sales and really drive the market lower. But time will tell, right? That fund position is always something interesting. I know there's seasonals in it, but it really feels like every year's different when we look at fund positioning.
It really is, yeah. I think the second chapter that you alluded to there, that story was, the funds adding to their length and the farmer selling there, that just covered up and kind of limited the rally there. Yeah, we're, back to 450 corn, which is great to see. But really from looking at that March contract, we haven't gained a whole lot of ground from where we were. Those highs were still back in May, June timeframe, Connor B. We haven't taken those out yet.
Right.
So,
I also, soybeans, corn's the story, but soybeans, officially, we never got long in the soybean market. Very much chopping around since September, right? We haven't seen any big swings since kind of decreasing our shorts back in August, kind of on that drier weather, right? Is where we saw. I didn't pull it up on the chart, but I think the soybeans, the story, we got to look at soybean oil and soybean meal fund positioning, right? Significant long and drop dramatically to a short position, big sell off, especially in soy meal. So I think that's a story when I look at the whole soybean complex.
Yeah, we talked about this before this show. I'm gonna steal that line from you, but remember that headline last January, a year ago? They talked about the high in January being the high in beans is never in January. It's never in January. It's only happened a few times in history. And look at what happened in 24. Look what happened in 24.
That was one of my resolutions. Is that we're creatures of habit. What would have worked last year tends to be what we see implemented marketing wise in the next year. But I got to tell you, I want you to tread carefully if you're doing that, because 2024, officially, it's the last day of the year. I can officially say this. The high for corn and soybeans was on January 1st, right? Jan 1st, maybe it was actually Jan 2nd, but the first week of the year is when we put in the high. That has happened, Brady, 4 times since the 60s, right? 85, 86, 89, and 01. And so if you're predicting that type of scenario again, be careful, right? Past performance isn't indicative of future results. Joe's got the banner going down there. Well, no, he doesn't. Get it on there. There we go. But every year, it was a unique year, right? When we look back on 24, is that we had that slight rally, right? We had that little rally in May. And I think when the people that love their seasonal charts, right, sell in the seasonal time frame, they'll say, hey, look, this is when you should have sold. But it's easy in hindsight, because when we were in the middle of it, it was very fleeting, right? Gosh, it felt like, what was it? Did we rally for 10 trading days? I don't even think it was that. Maybe it was very quick, right? We put the high in January. We spent a lot of time selling off. Now the corn market, we actually rallied a little bit in the last half of the year, but officially the high was in January 1st, or in the first week of 2024. We put in the highs on corn and soybeans.
Yeah, good points there. Sometimes those rallies, they happen when the farmer is actually out there hustling back and forth, changing seed varieties, keeping the planter going. They ain't got time for marketing and to think about it. And there's so much uncertainty out there. It just makes it difficult to go out there and make those decisions when in a time of year when you're busy doing other things. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Connor, when I think about 25 and the year ahead. Just because it happened last year, don't plan on it. Plan for something different this year and unexpected. I think that's my theme for 2025 as we look forward, Connor.
I like, and we've got a lot of uncertainty in 2025, right? It's easy to think of the negativity when we hear tariffs. Are we going to get any type of biodiesel resolution? But I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket, right? I think the one thing, especially with the new administration, is just because the threat of tariffs is on doesn't mean we can't see, some type of trade deal come to the table. So it's going to be a lot of uncertainty in 2025. We're seeing it right now with, even in terms of weather, right? Argentina, it looks like their corn production, corn acres is jumping up ever so slightly. That's going to be a big factor if demand stays where it is in this corn market, right? To just keep global production up. We need that good Argentina crop. If we don't get it, we could see some excitement. So time will tell. definitely stay on your toes for 2025.
Yep. Yep. All right, let's talk about cattle markets a little bit here,
Yep.
Connor. We had box beef rallying here yesterday, put up a nice close up. I think box was up $4, 325 on the choice cutout. Big questions on how high boxes will go. It's holiday week, so you kind of got some light kills going on, but packer margins are really poor. It'll be interesting to see how aggressively they want to chase on the cash side of things. I got to talk about this feeder cattle index. We've hinted at it and the low volume that can happen these holiday weeks. But we had each day, you get these goofy prints, and the index has rolled over here, and it's just a terrible print on the index. Makes you scratch your head and question what the heck we're doing out there. But the daily total, Friday's data, we had a whopping 478 head that went into the index data, holiday week, but it 245.71 print, drug the index down 435 100 weight. That index is moving. It's this holiday time frame where you get these weird prints, and it's good for a hedger. Good if you had some LRP settling out there, but heads up, this index can bounce around. When you got 400 head of cattle going into an index print, watch out. That thing can move, and who knows which way it's going to move. Going to be interesting when we get to next week. We'll get a lot of these auctions opening back up, guys bringing calves to town, selling their calf crop after the first of the year, and see where the actual cash market is when we open those auction barns back up after the first of the year, Connor.
Interesting. Hey, first, looking at next week, we did have we're going to have some reduced trading hours. Is that January 9th?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, January 9th, right? We saw with President Jimmy Carter passing away, they're doing, I forgot what they actually called it, but
National Day of Mourning for the
thank
former
you.
president. Yeah.
Yep. National Day of Mourning. So I believe we'll see commodity markets at a 12 o'clock close instead of 1:15. So, at the end of the day, right, if you're not a professional trader, I don't know if the extra hour is going to affect us a whole lot, but keep it in mind, especially when the next day we got that USDA report that we're really keeping our eyes on. So keep that in mind. Other thing we have is our markets are closed tomorrow for New Year's Day. We will have a hard open Thursday morning. We will be back full swing Thursday morning, Friday. It'll be good to see, and we'll be right back in. Well, hopefully, we get 25 off strong. Right? It's good to see. Yesterday we saw good opens, good overnight trade. And then we settled down and we traded negative on the day, right? It's good to see we're gaining some of that negativity back with corn up 4, soybeans up 7 right now. But just one of those interesting trades, right? We were talking about headlines and we were talking about the strong corn market. And as we're watching it, we're like, well, we might not need to do that. We're selling off pretty quickly.
What a wild day. I think it was close to a 9-cent trading day in March corn, and you almost hit the 460 level on March corn and then sold back off. Yeah. The live show can be so much different than the close. If we did a close show and a live show yesterday, they could have been completely different shows, Connor B.
Absolutely.
It'd be interesting to see the price action as we wrap up the week, just because we get the holiday, New Year's Day tomorrow, markets closed, the hard open Thursday will be interesting, but how many traders are still going to be on vacation Thursday, Friday, and then you got the big week next week with that crop report on Friday. Going to be a lot of pre-report positioning. It's a big report. We're going to talk about some of the historical price movements with Brian Basting here this afternoon in the premium that we're going to film. But what did we do for premium yesterday, Connor B?
Yeah, it was, we're doing a lot of education stuff around the holidays. Maybe, I don't know if I want to say getting just kind of a base layer, right? Kind of how we look at certain marketing decisions. And we talked all about on-farm storage, right? If you have it, how we look at marketing bushels, right? It's not a store. We're not a store and ignore firm. That's not what we believe in. We don't think that works year in, year out. And so then just kind of, let's talk about carries. Let's talk about capturing good basis, right? How can we do that? Every year's different, right? There's a lot of years where, you stick it in the bin and the market's going to tell you to get it out in 30, 60 days. So that's what we walk through, right? Just the mathematics behind using on-farm storage, how once it goes in the bin, right, you need to put your merchandiser cap on and go from there. So I thought it was a good video.
Yep, same. Bins, they're sexy, they're cool, but if you're not using them right, they can cost you. They can be a bad decision in the wrong year in the wrong time frame. But it's not just the easy button out there. I think that's the bottom line. But yep. All
Yeah.
right.
Here we go. Luke, get a good segue because I was going to ask you this. He said, "What was the most important news of 2024?" Right. Let's talk about what was the
Yeah.
most important news. Right. Let's keep it in terms, unless you have your favorite headline. But I was thinking in terms of commodities and ags. Most important headline. What did you learn? Like, what's your resolutions? What are you going to do going forward in 2025, Brady?
Oh, that's the hot seat here. Oh my goodness. I wasn't prepared for that at all, Connor. I don't know, one day at a time here for me in my life with these kids running around, but proactive marketing, uh, you know, you got to be, you got to be ready to act, and maybe you're not always ready to act. So the importance of planning and embracing a strategy that puts you together, puts you in a position to embrace volatility for whatever unfolds. For me looking forward, I'm very nervous about it seems like global producers have the ability to raise a good crop, and we just do it year after year after year. There's always a problem somewhere, but as a whole, we've just been able to continue raising more bushels and feed the world. So that's my bottom line here. But be actionable and don't fall behind. I don't know. That's maybe more looking forward, Connor. You asked me about the past, but I tied it all together.
Good one, Tony. No,
I
no,
like
that
that.
that was good. I think when I look back on 2024, we go through our planning season, and we had a little bit delayed planning, and I remember guys were calling me ready to buy calls. Right, market's going higher. We're not getting this crop in the ground. Well,
Hmm.
guess what? We got it in very, very quickly. We had that window of opportunity, and then we did the same thing this fall. Right, it was Brazil is unbelievably dry. We're going to see that soybean crop go in later than expected. What happened? We got our window of opportunity, and they ramped it up and got the crop in the ground at unbelievable pace. So my takeaway is that if you're getting bowled up because of a planning delay, be very careful, right? Because guess what? Late planting doesn't mean it gets planted in the middle of May. That doesn't constitute late planting, right? We can plant a record corn crop if most of it goes in May. So that's a main takeaway for me. And the other one is last year we saw being proactive early, right? If we put the highs in January 1st, 2nd, but I want to be proactive, right? We're going to be getting coverage on if we haven't already for the next year, because who knows, right? I want to be a cheerleader for higher prices, but we got to respect the news, respect the potential
Hmm.
for the price to drift lower here too. But we're going to be careful when we start thinking of trying to capture, any type of seasonals, right? I love looking at them, but man, they're hard to when you're in the moment. They can be very hard to capture and to sell. So we're going to be proactive. We're going to learn from 2024, but we're not going to do everything that worked in 2024. Does that make sense, or am I just talking in circles?
I think so. I like it. That's a good message there. Yeah, that's a good message. I'm going to build on it. I'm going to take a quick opportunity to build on it because
Go.
it's good stuff, Connor B.
Yep.
But one thing that comes to my mind, Connor, is people view risk management as bearish, right? I mean, we look at, hey, I'm going to manage risk. That means I think the market's going to roll over. And it doesn't have to be. I think you can embrace a bull market while still managing risk. And to me, that's the bottom line message of what we try to preach, how we try to treat our customers is get them in a position to defend a lower price, but still embrace that bull market because we want to hit home runs, we want to hit grand slams, and we want to sell cattle and grain at great prices, at profitable prices. We just don't want to, you know, not be proactive about defending our bottom lines there. So
Well said.
good
Well
stuff.
said. Luke's got it. Luke's got another one. His biggest news was the eternal can kicking of USDA. None of the corn I grow will ever go to an ethanol plant, but all that potential demand would have helped every U.S. corn grower. I'll take it one step further, Luke. You're talking about corn. Let's look at soybeans, right? Because we started this show a little over a year ago, and I think I talked about it. There was 1 week I talked about it
Mhm.
every single day about
Yeah.
the potential for renewable fuel standards, the boom in biodiesel we could potentially see. And guess what? We were going to get the mandate. Was it in March, Brady, or April?
Yeah.
And we got something, but it was the definition of kicking the can down the road. They pushed it out. And then we saw Biden say or Biden administration, that we were going to get some type of rhetoric this winter. We never got it. And we're kind of back to square one, right? New administration. They've been relatively quiet. We haven't heard any news one way or the other, which way they're going to go. But yeah, that was kind of just one of those. It was like it felt like it could be a firecracker at any moment, and it just fizzled out. It was a non-event. It never happened. So that'd be the biggest news story that isn't a news story, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Subsidies for soybean oil that comes from China too. That's the other piece of that renewable puzzle, right? Is we have a policy that incentivizes you to blend oil for what is it? What is that? Walk me through that, Connor B.
But
The Chinese soybean. I'm thinking the Chinese soybean.
Use cooking oil. Yeah.
Yeah. That's another story.
And that's a big one for 2025. Is that even if we see some type of tariffs, where if we could just get used cooking oil out of the even current biodiesel program, that's a big win. I would take that over any type of huge win, any type of big RFS mandate, biodiesel mandate. Even if we could just get used cooking oil greatly reduced, right? That'd be a big one.
Yep. Unintended consequences of a policy that had good intentions and could have really helped the U.S. farmer this year. So good stuff. All right. You got any New Year's resolutions? What are you doing for New Year's tonight, Connor B?
We are doing, so I've got the young kids, so we have the ball drop right around 6:45. We put it on YouTube and let throw some balloons, say Happy New Year. Let's all go to bed. Happy 2025. So I will probably, Brady, the odds I see midnight tonight are pretty slim. I haven't seen it for the past couple of years, so we don't have any big plans. What about yourself?
We got New Year's party with family and friends here. We'll try to make it to midnight, but I'm on the East Coast, so I got a little head start on everybody else, so that helps a little bit. But yeah,
good stuff. Well, I just gotta say, we've been doing ATI Pro Media for a little over a year, so we gotta say thank you, everyone that watches us each and every day or whenever you tune in. Thank you so much. It's been a ride. I think 2025 is going to bring a lot more good things for ATI Pro Media. I think I'm excited for what it can be. We're always looking to fine tune it, to change it. So thank you very much, Brady. It's been a blast doing it with you. Joe, Rick, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. They're giving the thumbs up, but so yeah, good stuff.
Yep. Good times ahead. Looking forward to it. Let's get out of here, Connor B. Let's take a day off. We'll see you guys back on Thursday. Who's closing it up? Who's clicking the button?
Go ahead. Hey, no, you want to do the dad joke that you say right today?
What's the dad joke? What are you talking about?
See you next year.
See you next year.